Hello, everyone. Welcome, Live. I am Michael, and it's my pleasure to host this exclusive with Mr. Bahanu. Mr. Bahanu, the Vice President of International Art College in Canada. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, for anyone planning to study abroad in Canada, this is insights about Canada, the programs, life on campus, and career. So, before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you have any chats on the Zoom, so Mr. Bahano, welcome to this session and thank you for taking the time to join us today. I'm excited to share about Conestoga College and help prospective students.
Thank you very much.
So let's start from the beginning. Can you give us a quick introduction for those here?
Before I do that, I would like to welcome our audience as well. Good morning, everyone who's joined us today from across Nigeria. Nigeria is a very special country. It is a country of energy, intelligence, resilience, and ambition. Every time I interact with Nigerian students and families, I'm reminded of one thing. Talent is never a problem. Enthusiasm is never a problem. Access and opportunities sometimes becomes a challenge. Nigeria doesn't lack talent, it lacks enough doors, and our job is to open the right ones for you. Many of you joining us today are not just thinking about yourselves, you're thinking about your parents who made sacrifices, thinking about your siblings who are watching you, you're thinking about responsibility to turn education into real outcomes, and not just a certificate, a degree, or a diploma. Choosing to invest in education during uncertain times is an act of courage. When the world feels unpredictable, when economies shift, when headlines create doubt, you are here. You're here to listen. You're here to ask questions. You're here to make decisions about your future. And that already tells me something very powerful about you. So congratulations on the first bold step that you have taken to change your life forever. At Conestoga College, we understand that education for Nigerian students is not a casual decision. It's a strategic one. It's about skills that travel globally, careers that sustain families, and future that create impact. We also believe that education is not just about earning a credential. It's about building confidence, creating opportunities, and shaping a life with purpose. In today's conversation, as Michael has mentioned, is about choosing an institution that respects your ambitions, values your effort, and prepares you for the realities of Canadian job market and the global opportunity that it presents to you. You don't just want to study abroad, you want to build something meaningful. And that's exactly what we are here to talk about today. My name is Banu. As Michael said, I've spent over 2 decades in international education. I remember 2003 was my first year when I went to Nigeria to recruit, and I was just impressed by the passion, the enthusiasm, the ambition, the desire to change their lives, the desire and the resilience towards life in general. I was in awe, and I worked with thousands of students from around the world, including many from Nigeria, and I have seen one truth repeat itself again and again. Students who choose wisely, prepare intentionally, and commit fully their lives. I invite you to listen not just with intention to study in Canada, but also with the intention to build a future you'll be proud of. So welcome to, and Michael, over to you.
That's really insightful. So yes, what makes out among other Canadian universities for international students?
It's a public college, and there are 24 public colleges in Ontario. We are one of the leading colleges located in Ontario's innovation corridor, home to global technology, manufacturing, business, and healthcare employers. What makes Toga special is our on applied learning. We don't just teach theory, we prepare students for real careers, real jobs, and real impact. And you can see the data about Conestoga being number one in graduation rate, so 90% employment rate, among the top ones in employer satisfaction, among the top one in student satisfaction. And for over 50 years, Conestoga has been about life and learning and contributing to the success of the students, but keeping student, the community, and the employers in mind. We prepare students for Canadian job markets for sure, but the skill set which we translate into our students also prepares them to be global professionals and global leaders.
Yeah, right. Moving on to programs. Let's talk about programs and opportunities now. So Conestoga College offers programs like business administration, right? Interior design, many more. So some of these programs are more popular with international students, especially Nigerians.
Conestoga offers over 300 career-focused programs, which are 1-year certificate, 2-year diplomas, 3-year advanced diplomas, 1 to 2-year postgraduate programs, 4-year bachelor's degree. So these are the certifications which offers to our students. Because of the recent changes that happened in Canada, out of that 300 programs, now around 140 programs are postgraduate work permit aligned, which is among the highest any college offers in Canada. So there's a broad range of programs which we offer, and those programs fall under applied computer science and IT, business, engineering and technology, health sciences, trades, hospitality, media design, community studies, and liberal studies. So these are the areas where these 140 programs fall. For Nigerian students, what we have seen that are IT, engineering, health, and trade programs, those are very popular. We get a lot of applications for our cybersecurity, those kind of programs. We get programs for our mechanical engineering programs. We get tons of applications now for the past 2 years from Nigeria into our trade programs as well.
Okay. So how does ensure programs practical and relevant to today's job market?
We are in constant touch with the industry. Things which very clearly about industry relevance, career outcomes, and student support. All our programs are designed with employers consultation. 35% of our new program development committee or our existing program maintenance team comprises of leaders from the industry. And they tell us what's coming, what was not in the past, what's coming. And either we modify our program or create a new program to meet the future needs, making our graduates job ready.
Yeah. Now let's talk about admission and requirements. What are the key admissions requirements students should know about for undergraduate and postgraduate programs?
Admission requirements vary by the program, but generally speaking, undergraduate programs like 1-year certificate, 2-year diploma, 3-year advanced diploma, or a bachelor's degree, we would need a secondary school completion certificate. Like for Nigerian students, we don't need English proficiency, but we look at their English grade in their high school. And then there might be program-specific subjects. So for example, if you're coming for engineering, we would need math, a strong math. If you're coming for architecture or something, we would need math and physics. If you're coming for biotechnology, we would need biology, chemistry, and mathematics. So it varies. For a postgraduate program, a recognized bachelor's degree and sometimes relevant work experience. So there are certain programs where we would need a relevant bachelor's degree plus at least a year of work experience as well for the students to be successful. Most important advice I give to students in this area would be choose the right program for your background, not just the popular one. So recently what we have noticed is that slight shift. So a student in Nigeria has done, let's say, engineering, but they suddenly see that in Canada, healthcare professionals are needed. A lot of students end up applying for a program like PSW, for example. And when I see those students applying, every 2 weeks, we do a webinar and we try to reach out to those students and we try to explain that don't choose a program because it is popular. Try to choose a program which is in line with what you have spent so much time studying, especially people who have done their bachelor's degree or a 2 to 3 year diploma after high school.
Okay. So
What about Nigerian students? We do not need.
okay. So for many students who may not have the highest grades at pathway or additional they can meet.
So very good question. The answer would be slightly in the gray area. So yes and no. Believes potential, not perfection. Many students, for various reasons, they might not have grade what looking for. Around 80 to 90% of a postgraduate program, we are looking at a minimum B average. For undergraduate degree program. It is plus for our diplomas and certificate program. We are looking at like a C minus on that area to get into, but sometimes students have less grades. So we do have our preparatory programs. So if you're going for a health program, let's say, for example, you want to study practical nursing, you can take pre-health. If you're going into technology, you can take pre-technology program, 8 months programs, and you can get into that. And then students need to keep in mind sometimes, and again, I'm not an immigration expert. I'm just talking from my experience, and this is just my opinion.
Okay.
Take it with a pinch of salt. What I've seen is that students who have done well academically in their home country, when they're applying for a visa, their application is slightly stronger than students who have not, right? So people who were not able to score a higher grade, let's say B in our case, and they want to apply into a preparatory program and then move on to the main program, just keep in mind that how the embassy would look at your application, right? Because you are changing your environment completely. You're coming out of your comfort zone and you're going into a challenging zone to begin with. There's a lot of support at the college, in the community, etc., but still it is a new life for you. So sometimes as a visa officer, you might look at the file and say, okay, in your comfort zone, you were not able to score well. Now you're going into a challenging environment. At least for a month, it could be a little challenging, homesickness, cultural shock, all those kind of things. Would you be able to, right? So just keep that in mind. A study plan or a nice statement of purpose sometimes help in that case.
Now, can you give us an update regarding tuition and deposits, and maybe break this down for our audience regarding tuition, deposit?
So the process, I'll tell you the process, right? So the student applies to college. There's a $100 application fees. They apply to college. Within 2 to 3 days, the student gets an offer letter. In that offer letter, the program details are mentioned, but most important to your question here, there's a section on the offer letter which talks about the deposit and the tuition fees. So there is a deposit of $2,500 for two things. Number one, it confirms your offer letter. And number two, that deposit is needed by college in order to issue you up. So now a PAL letter is needed in order to apply for your visa. So that 2,500 deposit is needed to get then the rest of the tuition fee, that 2,500 is part of the tuition fees. Rest of the tuition fees is mentioned there with a deadline. I encourage students, please follow the deadlines, because once you end up losing your spot in the program, and sometimes if the program is popular, becomes very difficult to put you back into that program, and we will offer you an alternate choice, but that might not be the choice which you first chose to study. Now, for Nigeria, I have noticed in past 1.5 year, what they have done is, because sometimes banking could be slightly challenging, my students, instead of paying $2,500 deposit, they pay the full 1 year fees. Because before applying for they have to pay the fees, because the deadline would be in the middle before they get their visa. So they have to pay the fees. So they're like, okay, I'm going to deal with the bank only once, and they would come and pay the full fees. So that's an option. I'm not asking for it, but that's an option. A lot of students do that, deal with the bank once, go and pay the full 1 year fees. I get my receipt for my tuition fee deposit, and now I can move forward with my file. Canadian. So all the money I've mentioned is all Canadian dollars.
Okay. Now, how flexible is the payment plan available for international students?
So when the student is first applying to, there is kind of a payment plan, but kind of not. You have to pay minimum first semester tuition fees. Now, as an experienced agent, you can advise your students whether it's a good idea for them to pay the full year tuition fees to show financial strength in their file or not. But we will give you breakdown of the tuition fees. So you pay $2,500 first, then there will be first semester tuition fees mentioned with a deadline to have $2,500 less because you already paid that. And then there will be a second semester tuition fees mentioned as well. So as I mentioned, that 99% of students coming from Nigeria, they end up paying the full year tuition fees for two reasons. Number one, to show financial strength in their file, but also they want to deal with the bank once. As far as scholarships are concerned, we don't have entrance scholarships, but there are a lot of scholarships and bursaries once you are here as a student of college, open for both domestic and international students. During orientation, we inform our students about those opportunities and how to apply for those scholarships. And hundreds of international students end up applying and getting those as well. I don't tell students to count on them. Reason being because it's competitive. Everybody applies for them. You should plan your studies from a financial point of view. You should plan your study with full your tuition fees and full living expenses. So that around $18,000 that includes your medical insurance and college ancillary fees. That will be a 1 year tuition fees at Conestoga, what you will pay to us. And then another $22,000 according to the Canadian government that you should have for your year's expense. So I always advise students from anywhere in the world that you should plan for that close to $40,000 that you have access to and you have it for your first year and in studying in any college in Canada, especially Conestoga.
So now many students are curious about life at, I know many students are curious about life at Conestoga. So what is life like for international students there, right there? What is life like?
So life here is very vibrant. There are over 100 countries represented at Conestoga. So it's very multicultural. It's very, very welcoming. Student experience a very safe community, a diverse cultures, modern campuses, and a strong sense of belongingness. Many students tell me that Conestoga feels like home faster than they had expected. So there are tons of activities which keeps on happening in the college. There are tons of something which stands out very well with Nigerian students is that we have a student government body and a lot of Nigerians run for positions there. And they also do a lot of activities and they take a lot of initiatives for leadership development in our students. And I find our Nigerian students superbly active there. Also, as I mentioned, that Conestoga is in Waterloo Region, which is the technology triangle of Canada. There is a lot of tech and businesses in the region. Over 1,500 technology companies called Waterloo home. Google Canada headquarters is in Waterloo, and then many other companies, they have their headquarters as well. Gives a student an opportunity to network with the industry. As an international student, 26 years ago, I came to Canada as an international student. And more than the cultural and other activities on the college campus, at that time for me was that I have limited time under a protective umbrella, that protective umbrella being the school I went to study in. I have limited time there and I need to expand my wings as fast as I can. So my focus was spending a lot of time with my professors. My focus was getting into the networking opportunities I can get in my field of study, what I was doing at that time. And my professor helped a lot going to the Chamber of Commerce and other places. And Conestoga has great connections with the industry. Conestoga has great connection in the community. So I encourage students who are listening right now or who's going to be in your office later on, please let them know that college provides an excellent platform for you to become very, very successful. But as we all have heard, that you can take the horse to the water, you cannot make the horse drink the water, right? So the students have to be proactive. They have to take the responsibility for their future and their success. Conestoga is standing right beside them. They're not alone. We are standing right beside them to become successful.
That is good. So how does now you have said a lot about Conestoga. So how does Conestogans assist students when they come? How do they support students and also settling in Canada? How do they assist? How do they support students settling into Canada?
So how I like to answer a question like that is right from when you have a thought about Conestoga till the time you graduate and beyond, we have support services designed for our students. So every Wednesday, our transition coordinators do a webinar, and it is all about life in Conestoga, in Waterloo. So we cover almost every aspect. So we cover off-campus housing, on-campus housing, activities and services provided to the students on campus, our community, what is Waterloo Region is all about, do's and don'ts, tips and tricks. Sometimes we invite our former international students or students who are still studying at Conestoga and are international. They come, they share their experiences. So there is a lot of information. So every Wednesday that happens around 45 times in a year. So that's number one. Then we have airport pickup services. So when the students arrive in Canada, we have an airport pickup service. We have a housing service. We have job center. We call it Talent Hub. 3 years ago, Conestoga was the first college to announce that if you're a graduate, if you're an alumni of Conestoga College, throughout your lifetime, you can come back to the college anytime and we will provide those career services free of cost to you. Then we have a huge international student support team. We have mental health and wellness services. We have peer mentoring. So, for example, if somebody comes and they are struggling with a course, they can go to peer mentoring office and they can uh, s- provide them with free mentoring service. So there will be somebody who is good in that course and they can help these students catch up. And then we have got tons of student clubs as well at the college where students get a lot of social and cultural exposure as well. So it's a holistic experience which
That is a
students
lot.
get. So we don't just ask students to adapt; we walk with them through the entire transition.
So now, post-graduation is a key concern for many. Like, so how does Conestoga help graduates? They have said most consultants about that, but I just want to like little insight about that. How does Conestoga help graduates take advantage of the Canadian post-graduation work permits, which can be up to 3 years?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, that we have a job center. A lot of schools call it job center. It's easy for people to understand, but we at Conestoga, we call it Talent Hub. The Talent Hub got two areas. One is co-op services, one is job services. So students who are coming into a program which has a co-op, the co-op team engaged with the student right from their first semester and start preparing them. So we help them um, with their resumes and cover letters, interview techniques. We do mock interviews. We provide them with a lot of resources to prepare themselves for um, the job market outside. Besides that, we give them a lot of leads for companies who are looking for students like them. We also connect their resumes with employers who have reached out to us. Plus, we hold three major job fairs on campus. They are very, very huge. A lot of thousands of companies come during those job fairs, and our students have got first-hand experience. We also do employer in the hall. So every week there is a new employer, one or two employers around the cafeteria at the college, which also gives a student an opportunity to interact with those employers. And sometimes they get an offer or an interview opportunity right there. But a lot of times, what I have noticed is students who are new to Canada and they're just still in their first semester, that gives them an opportunity to learn what prospective employers are looking for in uh, in their future employees, and then students get that chance to prepare themselves before they graduate and finish. But the most important part, again, what we had discussed earlier, starts from the program selection. Very, very critical. So again, I would encourage students not to go by what's fancy or what's popular right now, but rather go by what you are passionate about and what your background is. Because you spend a quality amount of time or enough time in that area studying that subject, and taking it forward just makes a good sense. Also, when I see that Conestoga offers over 140 programs that are PGWP aligned, this tells me that our engagement with prospective employers has been so strong in the past that all the programs that we were designing are made in Canada. That's why we have one of the highest number of programs that we offer to our international students, which are PGWP aligned.
So are they career like supported mentorship program, internship for students while they are studying over there?
Yeah, absolutely. So mentorship program is there and it has got two prong approach. One is college wide and one is international. So we have international student ambassadors, peer mentors that are part of international team. They are current international students in their second year or third year. So they are there to support our students and their journey. Sometimes we have found that students are more comfortable talking to, fellow students rather than talking to somebody else. It's just that mental setup that they feel very, very, very comfortable. So the mentor programs are team-pronged, international, and then college-wide. But students also have access to career coaching, which again is something which I encourage students to dive in right away. Um, One of the things very carefully I tell people, but I do mention it to them that when you leave everything behind, there's a lot of sacrifice there. There's money involved, time involved, staying away from family, culture, food, music, all those things are involved. It should be worth it moving forward, right? You will make friends along the way, but more importantly, you should be focused on your life, career, your future, the growth. So access career coaching services at Conestoga, resume and interview preparation services at Conestoga, employer networking events that we do ourselves, plus find out what's happening in the community and get involved. And your professors are major source for that because they come from the industry and they can tell you what's happening and then you can become part of that. Then there are co-ops, internship and applied projects, depending upon what program you are in. And right from the beginning, there will be somebody from the talent hub to the job center, somebody from talent hub coming to your classrooms and educating you right from your first semester that how to prepare in a best possible way to become successful, be it your co-op, your internships, or any of the applied projects.
So with so many Canadian university, I think in the beginning of this session, we have talked about that. But I would like to go back again. With so many Canadian university, why should a Nigerian, someone like me now, select Conestoga College over others?
So Conestoga has been leader in Africa, in Nigeria especially. So we have one of the highest number of Nigerian students studying it at Conestoga. When I speak with them about their experience, because that's what I carry back to Nigeria and I share that with students and parents, you can study, let's say, um, project management, for example. You can study project management at Conestoga. You can study project management in any other college or university as well. But what I hear from the students is the care that Conestoga provides, the support, walking the path with the student, practical education, strong career outcomes, real support that they feel when they come to international office or they access any of the college services. The investment the college has done in their infrastructure. So be it your lab or the student services or your computer labs, your rec center, your sports facility, etc. The investment the college has done, they truly see value in that. They see that our programs are very much in line with what the industry is looking for. We invite a lot of guest speakers during the year to come and address our students that they find very, very valuable. But most importantly, career-focused, job-oriented programs along with a personal touch, both from the international office and from college as a whole, which students feel very, very supported.
All right. So now, what success stories or what achievements of Conestoga students stand out to you? What success
So
stories, what achievement of a Conestoga student stand out to you?
there are many stories, especially
Many,
from
right?
us. Yeah, there are many stories, but I just have one which I always like to share with people, just because that became that turned out that started as kind of mentorship, but then turned out to be very, very emotional for me. In 2015, I met a student, Samson, in Lagos, Nigeria, and he did not have an intention to study in Canada. He was on his lunch break. His friend had the intention to study. I was in Nigeria. I was doing a seminar. He happened to come with his friend. And when we were talking about careers and opportunities and life and Conestoga and all those things, he ended up applying to a program. He had a little hiccup. His visa was denied initially, but then later on he got the visa. He came to study a 2-year program, postgraduate at Conestoga. during that time, he used to come and see me once in every 2 weeks. So I walked the path with him. I shared my experiences with him. I guided him in the right direction. It all became a very nice a camaraderie between me and him. But at the same time, I was able to direct him to the right services that Conestoga as a whole was providing to our domestic and international students. The Samson became very successful. I think, if I remember correctly, when he came after his graduation, he got his job immediately, and it was around $72,000 in 2015, 16, around 2016. That was pretty good money to start with at that time. So he comes, he takes me out for lunch. We had a great time. When I go back to Nigeria, his parents invite me for dinner, and that's where they gave me a Nigerian name. So my Nigerian name is Oluwaseun, and I asked, I said, I'm humble. I feel very grateful. Can you please tell me the meaning of the name? And they said the meaning is thank God. And they said, thank God that you came in our life. Thank God you had enough time to spend with our child. And they just kept on going. Thank God for Canada. Thank God for Conestoga. All those kind of things. So that is one story that sticks with me. But I'm going to also share something with you that I go to Nigeria twice a year, and I meet a lot of Conestoga alumni who have come here. They have studied. They have worked in Canada for 1 or 2 years, even though they were allowed to work for 3 years. They worked in Canada for 1 or 2 years. They went back to Nigeria, and now they are entrepreneurs. They're doing their own businesses. That was their intention, right? The intention was never to leave Nigeria forever. So I meet students like from every walk of mindset. So some people want to come study, work, maybe look for an opportunity to immigrate if that's possible. Some come study, get some work experience, and go back home as well. So we have overall around 250,000 Conestoga alumni worldwide. They're everywhere, right? And I see Nigerian students. And once I met one of them in London, UK. So I was there. He started working in Canada in a bank, and found an opportunity in UK, and then he applied for that position, and now he's working there. So there are tons of stories which I can tell, and that would take another hour, hour and a half just to share, because it comes with a lot of excitement, happiness, pride. You know, 90% is Conestoga's employment rate, so that speaks volumes. We have one of the highest graduation rate in the province. That speaks volumes. And our international students come very hungry, right? And Conestoga is here to support them, for them to become very, very successful.
Okay, that's insights to share. The admissions are currently open for the general and mid intake 2026, if I'm mistaken, if I'm correct.
So
Or September intake.
Yeah. So we have January, May, and September. We have 3
What are they open right at this moment?
January 26th is closed now because we have passed the last day of joining the school. But May is open and September is open. If you don't find students' case to be very strong and ready right now, I would skip May. It's very close to apply for a visa. Just to prepare your file, sometimes it takes 3 to 4 weeks. You apply for your admission, you get the admission, then you pay the deposit, you get your PAL, then you pay your tuition fees, you get your receipt, plus you're doing your medicals, all that kind of things. Now, it takes around a month. Right? Canadian Embassy is very busy. There are a lot of people who are wanting to either study in Canada, visit Canada, coming for a business visa. The embassy is busy. So respecting that, I would suggest Nigerian students right now, this is the end of January, plan for September. May might be too close. So plan for September.
So what should Nigerians do right now to secure that place for September intake?
So for September intake, I will just repeat what we have spoken. Choose the right program, apply early, prepare your documents very, very carefully. There is one thing, many embassies do that, Canadian Embassy is one of them, that unfortunately, because of the volume, etc., it is not possible just to call a student for an interview. So when you apply for your visa, please make sure double, triple, quadruple times check your file that everything is honest, everything is clear. If there is a doubt, please put supplemental documents for the visa part. We see the visa approval rate sometimes shifting in Nigeria, and it could be because a paper was missed or it was not represented properly. So please make sure that you give yourself enough time to go through that file. Very, very important. Attend webinars like this. Attend our Wednesday webinars that we do through our transition coordinators. Very, very important to be prepared. And if there are a couple of programs that you're confused about, connect with you guys, IEIS, the education group, and try to get answers for program clarity. And if they are not able to give you all the details just because they don't work in the system, in the college, I'm available. I can always jump in on a call with you guys and make that very, very clear for you. Right. So apply early, be very clear, choose the program that is in line with your background, not something which is popular or fancy right now, and prepare a good fight. Plan ahead, be realistic, and stay focused. I mean, that's how I'm going to summarize this one.
So now, did they work to assist with the visa processing?
So the college does not, and that's why we work with agents like yourself. You have a lot of experience in that. So the college does not do the visas for the student. Once the student is here and they want to extend their visa, they want to apply for a work visa, we have international student advisors. They are all VCA certified and they can help. But to start with, the college does not involve in helping with the visas. Yeah.
Advice would they give students preparing financially, academically? I've said that over again, but let us repeat it again. What advice would they give students preparing financially and academically for Conestoga College?
So did you ask me a question or you were just repeating what I had?
Yes, I asked a question. So what advice would you give students preparing financially and academically for Conestoga College?
So education is a journey, not a shortcut. Students who succeed are those who prepare mentally, academically, and financially. So that's a statement which I try to give every time I'm talking to students and parents. Now, the academic requirements are mentioned on Conestoga's website, depending upon the program. I just went through it in the beginning of the webinar. Financially, again, we had talked about it. I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not certified to talk about immigration, but with my experience, my opinion, a full 1 year tuition fees, full 1 year living expenses as laid down by the Canadian government are the first step. So I think the Canadian government says $22,000 around there. 18,000 would be your tuition fee. So having that $40,000 for your first year just makes your case a little bit more stronger. There are many other things which the embassy looks at before making a decision, but having good academics, going in the program which is in line with your background, having good financials, right? These are three basic things that you can put forward among other things, which I think you guys would advise your students to put in the file.
So if you are to describe Conestoga College in 3 words for us Nigeria, what would that be? In 3 words.
3 words.
Yes.
So 3 words. What I would say, practical, supportive, and transformation. I would tell you to write these down because once you have written them down and you're reading them again and again, once you're at Conestoga, your brain is naturally looking for that. So you're looking for the practical approach the Conestoga College provides you. It's very, very supportive, and it's an opportunity for you to transform your life. Our intention is that the person who arrives at Conestoga and the person who leaves Conestoga after finishing their education and graduation, right, it's the best version possible at that time for that. So practical, supportive, transformation. That's what I would say.
Practical, supportive, transformative. Yeah. What one thing about Conestoga College offers surprise international students when they arrive?
So
Okay.
this goes globally because I hear this from students from around the world, not just Nigerian students from around the world. Randomly, I'm standing in the Tim Hortons coffee line, or I'm buying something from the cafeteria, or I'm walking in the corridors or in the library, etc. And I bump into an international student. I start talking to them. So first thing which they say that how much Conestoga genuinely cares, that stands out for them. So it's the philosophy of student first. Then students are often surprised by how accessible faculty members are. They'll send a quick note to the faculty that I want to meet you, I have a question, or I have a doubt, or I'm struggling. Immediately they respond and they're available. How strong the support system are there, not just academically, but for mentally and for their health reasons as well. The support system at Conestoga, that stands out a lot for these students. And mind you, these students also have friends who are studying in other institutions. So when they are saying these things to me, I am assuming that they are also hearing from other places. That's why these things are standing out for them when they are um, studying at Conestoga. And one thing, I'm an executive coach as well. And one thing which stands very strongly for me is when the students share with me and they tell me that how quickly they feel seen, how quickly they feel supported, and how quickly they feel empowered while they are at Conestoga. And this is the first 1 month that they feel like that. I feel seen, I feel supported, I feel empowered. That's the experience that students share with me in their first couple of months being here.
All right. So we've come to the final part. But if you have any questions to ask, you can chat in the Zoom chat below or can later ask any question. You have a question here to ask, can do so.
And as you are thinking about this, I'm just going to try to again, because just respecting the time, put my coaching and thinking hat on. And before we conclude, I want to speak directly to the students and families watching this. You know, you come from a nation where resilience is learned early, where adaptability is a strength, where ambitions run deep. Don't forget that. Those qualities matter, especially when you leave your home. Maybe you're coming to study in Canada, you go to US, UK, wherever you choose to go. These qualities matter. But ambition alone is not enough. It must be paired with the right education, the right preparation, and most importantly, the right mindset. And in Conestoga College, we see Nigerian students not just as international students, but as future professionals, contributors, and leaders in Canadian workforce and beyond. Like I mentioned, not everybody stays here. People go back home. People go to different countries. Not everybody might qualify to Canada, but you have an opportunity to study, maybe work for a couple of years, and then move on. If you choose Conestoga, choose it with intention. Come ready to learn, to work, and to grow. But remember this, your success will never be defined by the college alone. It will be defined by your commitment, your discipline, and your belief in yourself. You being proactive would give the direction to your future self. If you're ready to take that step, take it with clarity, intention, and the right guidance. Because when preparation meets opportunity, transformation follows. I see there's a question
Yeah,
there.
someone asked a question. Yes, those Conestoga encourage students to move with their families.
So that is not a Conestoga. Um, uh, that's not an advice that Conestoga would say yes or no on. That is up to you, right? You can bring your family. There are so many students who come here, mature students who have their families. They come. What I would advise is that depending upon what is your plan bringing your families, right? Please make sure that you visit the Canadian government website. You look at the recent changes. You look at what is allowed, what is not allowed, and then you make a decision whether you want to take your family right now with you or you invite them to come in and be with you later on. Another question:
Someone
are
again
there
had,
any waivers at any
okay.
point time? So we do sometimes. So what I can do is, Brenda, you and I can speak and later on, and students who have attended the webinar today, out of the respect of their time, if next 10 days they decide to apply to Conestoga, you and I can talk and I can give you a waiver code for that. But Conestoga is among very, very few colleges in Canada who does not do a blanket fee waiver. Application fee waiver. So $100 is the application fees, but of course, I would respect your time today. And if you get interested to apply to Conestoga in the next 10 days, Brenda and I can speak and I can provide with a couple of fee-waiver course.
Okay, finally, what will it cost for me to be part of Conestoga, to join Conestoga? Will it be free for me?
Yeah, so I don't know your
Will it
background.
be free for me?
So that is what we were discussing earlier, right? This is not sales, so I cannot tell you like that, right? This is something that you'll have to decide based on your background, your work experience, what you're interested in, and then you could choose a program that fits best for you. Sorry,
I think I want free entrance.
I can give you free entrance, but you'll have to pay for the tuition.
Not
Entrance
really
is
now.
free. Entrance is not a problem. See, yeah, you have to choose your words carefully. You ask for free entrance. I said, okay, done. But you'll have to pay for the. But anyways, jokes apart, guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. First of all, Brenda and Michael for giving me this opportunity to connect with the students. Number one. Number two, thank you for all the students and parents who have joined us today. I really appreciate your time. This shows that how serious you are about your future and your careers, whether it is for yourself or your child. Congratulations on this first step. Also, please remember this is one of many meetings we will have. And the one meeting which I would be very excited about would be once you come to Canada, whether you choose Conestoga or some other school. But because we have interacted, I hope to, um, that our paths cross somewhere. I would love to see the amazing things that you will be doing in your life. So God bless, congratulations, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thanks for your time and thanks for your insights with us. Thank you so much.
Take care.
All right. All right.